Well, we kick off this morning, and Sister Waheeda Ismail, author, we're talking about From Ramadan to Hajj as we take a look at this book, which obviously sparks a lot of faith, iman, a lot of imagination. Sister Waheeda, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I see you holding up the book, My Mini Hajj. Alhamdulillah,
My,
wonderful that you're able to join
yeah.
us.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, interesting that you're actually holding up this book, My Mini Hajj, because,
Yes.
I was just looking at my grandchildren in this week. They were being taught about Hajj and the rituals of Hajj, and
MashaAllah.
they raised so many interesting actually questions as well. So I think it's very relevant that we are talking about this book at the time when Hajj is taking place.
Yes, Alhamdulillah. It's very important that the children are brought into contact with the five pillars, one of them being Hajj, which is, the day of Arafat is like the most important day in the year. So it's so good that the children are exposed to this kind of information. And then from a young age, these values are inculcated in them so that they grow up feeling that preparing for the day of Arafah and also looking forward to Hajj, even in a small way, saving for Hajj or for Umrah.
Yes, I think what is also interesting in, as you say, is inculcating that spirit of Hajj in the young minds at a very, very early age. And I'm sure, that has been the inspiration behind you authoring this book. And let's just talk about, the thought, the idea. How did this idea actually come about, Sister Wahida?
Okay, when I went for Hajj, I left my kids with my parents. And although it was many years ago, my children still talk about these memories fondly. And every time Hajj comes, they'll say that my brother took them to Cape Town on holiday, or my sister took them out for milkshakes and ice cream, or my mom and dad taught them about the days of Arafah, Mina, Muzdalifah. So it was something that told me there are so many children that are left unattended by family members. Maybe they're just taking care of them. They're not doing major activities with them. So I wanted to write a book. So this is the My Mini Hajj, which is a story book about Husna and Zaid, whose parents go on Hajj and what they experience while their parents are gone, and they are part of their parents' journey. So this is why we call it My Mini Hajj. Alongside this book, I've made an activity book as well, which is for the little ones, which has all the rituals of Hajj in order for them to color. And there's an Eid card in here. Then there's the Mina camp. So they have to color a person on the scarf of the person or the ihram or something on the person, and then show them how to get through the maze to their correct tent, so that the children understand that different people live in different tents. And then we've got them on the day of Arafah, on Mount Arafah, and that's on the 9th of Hijjah. And then when they are collecting pebbles in Muzdalifah. So I try to inculcate in this book the the order of the Hajj, and then they've got a Eid Mubarak card, which they can color and give to their family members. And so I didn't want it to only be a story. I didn't want it to be a book that is just going to be like a madrasa class. I wanted children to learn from a narrative about the order of Hajj, about the significance of Umrah, about the significance of every aspect of the Hajj.
Wow, in fact, I must say, very, very impressive. In fact, and I think, just very, very innovative in terms of how you've actually structured and authored this book as well. Because, as you mentioned, each and every aspect of Hajj is actually different. And looking at it from a child's perspective, looking at it from a child's eyes. And I think for me, that is extremely important. That is extremely crucial because it is both educational and it is again fun, and also with all the activities that you've included in this book. Really, it is something that is definitely commendable, Sister Wada.
Let me show you some of the pictures in the book. This is when the men are sleeping in Mina, and then they're going by train to Arafah, and then they are going to pick up pebbles. So they're looking for their pebbles here. And even in the beginning, when they are in Medina, and the children identify these big umbrellas as the giant umbrellas in the city of Medina. And this is when mom and dad are in Medina, when they just land in Medina, and what they say to their parents, they video call them. And this is when they are leaving at the airport. And then when they come home and they have Eid with before they come home, they have a tent in my grandma and grandpa's courtyard. So this is when they are in Mina. And when mom and dad come home, they pack their bags and they go back to their homes. And the lovely part of it is when they are back at home with mom and dad, they feel so blessed and loved that they had grandma and grandpa to take care of them. And this is something that is so important for children to learn family values, respect, to learn about gratefulness. We must know when we must say Alhamdulillah. They must learn this from a young age.
Well, certainly, Sister Wada, and also I think what you've just described to me and what you've actually just shown on screen right now in terms of the book, in terms of the imagery in the book, and we know that the picture says more than 1,000 words, and
Yes,
that alone, explains your thinking behind this, but also that imagery in the mind of a child. Actually, because children are very, very observant. They take in, they soak in a lot from what they see as far as images are concerned. And I'm sure that, obviously the book does cover a lot of detail in terms of the story in itself as well from a reading perspective. So, a combination of the story in itself and that imagery, again, a huge bonus in terms of the child and also in the mind of the child, but more importantly, the lessons that children can actually take away from this book.
yes, yes, definitely. We say Hajj is a life changing experience. So for the children as well, it's a life changing experience because this is the first time that they are not with mom and dad. They have to stay away from their home. They have to be with aunts, uncles, grandparents. So this in itself has also changed them. It's made them develop and grow as little humans.
Well, certainly. And also, I think let's just focus a bit on this adventure, this captivating adventure for Husna and for Zaid in terms of, what they are actually experiencing at home while their parents are away. Because I know for many of us who have actually been for Hajj, we have that experience of leaving little children behind in the care of others, in the care of uncles, aunties, grandparents, all of that. Or we personally have also taken care of, for example, our siblings' children while they've been away from for Hajj as well. So I think, for both for adults and for children, there is a lot of information that is contained in that book, Wahida, that
Yeah.
obviously will provide, that the direction, the guidance as well, because this is not only about a story; it's actually about a lesson to be learned.
Yeah. Definitely. The story starts when Husna's mom, announces to the family that they are going for Hajj. And Husna is very upset and she goes into the garden and hides. And then her mom tells her, I need you to help me. I need you to help me because you are the big sister and you are going to look after your baby brother. And in this, in the story, mom and dad take them to Nani and Papa's house where they are actually unpacking their school things, their books, their toys, because mom wants to make it comfortable for them. And then Husna shows mom that I can take care of Zaid and she's kind to him. But then, children are children. So when the grandfather tells them about shaitan and pelting the shaitan and what is the significance of, of it, um, Husna sometimes is a bit of a bully. So she shouts Zaid. And she says, yes, when you don't get ready on time when dad is going for salah, because dad takes long in the masjid. Little things that is so true that children do. And then when he's sad, grandma makes him waffles. So they've also got, actually next year, inshallah, we hope to come out with a calendar, a countdown calendar, and a book of rewards where the children can take hugs and kisses that mom accumulates for them in a form of vouchers. And the calendar will be the countdown for every child to mark down where mom and dad are in Medina, now they're in Makkah, now they're in um, Mina, in Arafah, in Muzdalifah. Now they're going to complete their Hajj, their Umrah. Now they're going to get ready to come back home. So it will be like a countdown for the children, which we are in the process of doing. Then they help grandma at her home with their chores. And then we speak about Zamzam and the significance of the Zamzam well and the whole story about um, Hajar. And then we go back to Makkah, and this time we speak about Makkah and the children. Everything has been researched in detail because now you see over here, the Kaaba also has the Ihram. So we try to make it as realistic as possible. And then even with Safa Marwa, and even when the kids are sitting and talking to mom and dad on the video, and sometimes the signal is not good. So these are everyday issues. This is something that the children need to understand that mom and dad cannot call them all the time. And even when they send a video call and little Zaid, when dad says I love you and little Zaid says I love you too, and then Husna, being the big sister, says, don't be silly, dad can't hear you. It's a video call. So, little things like that 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 makes the book so realistic and makes it that the children will really read it and enjoy. And then grandfather also tells them what are the little shaitans in your life that you need to pelt. So when they are late for salah, when they don't clean their rooms, when mom is calling a few times and they don't come, so they tell on each other about these things. Siblings do this. So I wanted to make it something that is funny, realistic, that kids will understand and relate to as well.
Well, certainly, Sister Waida, and I think from what you described to me, obviously, personally, doing this interview with yourself, I'm actually captivated by what you've done and also by what you've achieved, because I know, previously we've been talking about Ramadan as well, and now we're talking
Yes,
about my mini Hajj. Now, these are two of the most or the important and the biggest event on the Islamic calendar for us
and
as Muslims. And I think, just focusing on these two major events actually goes a long way in providing that education, in providing that inspiration, and also in the mind of the child, that detailed understanding as to what these major events are and what they actually mean to us as Muslims in the lives of Muslims as well, because these are occasions that build up to two big days in our lives, which are the two Eids as well.
Definitely.
So,
Yes.
all of that actually put together, again, tells me that, this is a book that is a must have for each and every family in other,
Every
and
family.
particularly
Definitely.
those who have got little children, Waida.
Yes, yes, 100%. We are selling the books online at Amwasa. AMWASA is our official website, Association of Muslim Women Authors in South Africa. And we have the books at Beit al Hikmah in Durban as well, at Ikra Library, in Cape Town at Chapter 96, and Academia Library in what's it, Imam Harun Road. So
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, the book has taken off well, and people are showing an interest. And I must say, when I went to Cape Town and told them about this book, people were buying the books like crazy for their friends and family who were going on Hajj to give to their kids as gifts. And this was so heartwarming for me.
Yes, in fact, I see the website is address is on the www.amwalsa.co.za. Johannesburg,
Yes.
anywhere where the book is available?
Well, Amwasa posts all over countrywide. In Lodium, it's at Ikra Library.
Okay. All right. No problem. Because I think, this is important because, I know, obviously Hajj is now, almost over as well. And I
Yes,
wish that we had this interview maybe a week or two ago. But
yes,
nevertheless, we've had it. But it's still, it's something that is worth definitely having. And like I said,
definitely.
you've definitely piqued my interest, particularly.
Yeah,
And when I looking at my grandchildren as well, Alhamdulillah. So it's
Alhamdulillah.
something that we need to definitely get our hands on as well. And I'm sure that this is actually going to go a very very long way in providing that useful
Inshallah.
information. It's in the form of a story that is being told about a family, but
Yes,
one can actually relate that story to almost each and every family, not only here in South Africa, but right across the entire world, because I'm sure all of us
exactly.
go through exactly the same experience. We all go through the same scenario that is actually being played out in the book, Sister Waida.
Yes, definitely, 100%. At the moment, Alhamdulillah, my husband is assisting, looking after a little boy, because his parents, they only have one child. They're only in Saudi Arabia for 1 year. So he is helping the grandmother and grandfather who actually went from South Africa to help with the baby, with the little boy. And my husband is actually taking him out for ice cream and milkshakes and to the fun park just to keep him entertained. So Alhamdulillah, we know what it felt like when we had to leave our kids. And when you're an expat in a different country, it makes it difficult. Anyone is willing to help because they just want that ajr of that Hajj.
Right. And also, I think the mere fact that the children are reenacting their Hajj in their own personal space,
Yes,
in their backyards, in their grandparents' backyards, all of that actually, again, provides that education. Because I know, just the other day, my daughter was mentioned to me about my granddaughter, and she spoke about Mina and about living in tents. And the little one wanted to inquire as to why should I live in a tent? Why can't I live in a hotel? Why can't I have a hotel breakfast? So these are the questions that children are
yes.
actually asking. Yeah.
Asking, yes. You were saying, look, the curiosity of Hajj is heightened during the month of Dhul Hijjah. But I think this is a book that can be used as an activity and story for bedtime and during the year. Because sometimes they are in school at the Hajj time, so they will know already that, oh, this is what they're doing in Mina, this is what they're doing in Arafah. So it's not like a seasonal book, I would say. I would say it's a must have in every home that children can relate to, that children can relate to, and also
Yes, Sister Waheeda, I think we have lost signal with Sister Waheeda. I know she is traveling at this point in time, but I think obviously we have covered the book quite comprehensively with Sister Waheeda, and www.amwasa.co.za, which is the website where you can try and get hold of the book. And I'm sure that the website obviously has got the information with regards to where you can procure the book, whether you're in Joburg, Cape Town, or also in Durban. So we will obviously try and get hold of Sister Waida at some point in time as well. But I think for many of us as parents, as grandparents as well, it is something that is definitely worth having, and it comes at the right time as well. And as Sister Waida mentioned, that this is not the book only for a Hajj season, but it is about conscientizing, it is about informing, it is about educating our children, and providing them with the useful tools to actually understand what this great institution of Hajj is all about. And we mentioned that she has got another book that talks about Ramadan as well. It is definitely very, very useful. And also, in terms of just reading to the children, that alone is an education on its own, and it will conscientize them of these very, very important occasions and events that take place in the life of each and every Muslim. And with that, we're going to go for a break. The time is just gone 8:30. We come back and we'll be joined out of Gaza this morning. We'll be speaking with Claire Manara, Doctors Without Borders, where staff of Doctors Without Borders are now donating blood to the people of Gaza.